Hello, everybody. Tonight's attendance was a total sellout. Gate was 2.06 million. Attendance was 15,862. Where's she got him here? Okay, fight of the night was Mendez and Volkanovski. And then the performance of the night went to Amanda Nunes and Ryan Hall. They all won $50,000. Congrats. John.
Pretty incredible night.
Yeah.
I wonder if you personally, after everything that went down and all that we had to deal with this past week, do you take personal satisfaction when you end up having a night like this where you kind of stick it to everybody, I guess?
Yeah, I love sticking it to everybody. So yes, it was a very satisfying night to me. It's unbelievable how when we go into, a week like this, just the backlash and negativity and bullshit that you have to read and all this stuff that goes on during the week of a fight like this. I saw this, I get it for you guys that it's, there's an ocean of Twitter tweets and Instagrams and all these things, and I guess saying stupid things sometimes makes you stand out. What's his name tonight? That idiot's name that I can't stand. Darren Ravel tweets out, the fuck does Darren Ravel know about fighting, number one? Okay, let's start with that. And he says the UFC got destroyed tonight because Chris Cyborg lost and Amanda Nunes won and she's not marketable at all and fucking, It's just like, listen, I'm pretty resilient to this dumb shit, but oh my God. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Well, let's talk about Amanda Nunes. What a moment that was. Talk about just kind of what you thought about that fight and what you want to see going forward for her. Now she's got 2 belts and, it's tough to defend in 2 weight classes, but there's not a lot at 145. So, what do you want to see for her?
I said it for a long time now and leading up to this fight. This is the fight that had to happen. This fight had to happen. It was the fight to make. And this is the type of fight that builds legacies, and you realize you have to find out who is the best in the world. We were able to do that tonight, and it was an incredible fight. And look at Amanda Nunes. And you think Amanda Nunes isn't going to be a star after this? I fucking guarantee it. I promise you that. Place went crazy for her, and I don't know what's next. Tuesday, we'll be back in the office, and we'll have a meeting, and we'll figure out what's next for her.
Ask about John Jones as well. He looked very, very dominant returning tonight. He made it clear right away. He said DC, threw the name out there. Are you interested in that fight? It seems like it would be one of the biggest fights you could possibly make. And I wonder if you're interested in making it. And would you want to do it at 205 or would you want to do it at heavyweight?
So I was talking to Cormier during the Jones fight, and he's all fired up. He was obviously very angry this week leading into this fight. And, there was talk from his camp about him retiring without another fight, and maybe he was just going to fight one more fight. It sounds to me like Cormier's ready to fight 2 or 3 more fights before he thinks about hanging it up. And you know me, I'm always the first to say when it's time for somebody to retire, Cormier's the man. It is not time for Cormier to retire. There's big fights out there for him that people care about, and legacy type stuff like we were saying about Amanda and Cyborg. So I'm happy about it.
Is he open to fighting Jones? I know he's pissed.
I listen to these guys. Cormier will fight anybody. Cormier. Cormier hates Jones so bad. He was on a rampage this week, and he was being a bit of a drama mama this week. But I don't blame him. They hate each other. When you hate somebody that bad, it brings the worst out in you. It does.
Just 2 more quick questions. BJ Penn, did you have a chance to talk to him after the fight tonight, and what was his mindset? What is he thinking?
I didn't see BJ. BJ's a legend in this sport. He went down to Brazil, trained hard for this thing, got into great shape. The camp was raving about him. He got caught in a submission tonight. BJ Penn is one of the legends of the sport and helped build this company. I would love to see BJ retire. BJ Penn has nothing left to prove. You know, I say it all the time. Fighting is a young man's game. This is not for older men. BJ is a multiple-time world champion in multiple divisions, and he's got nothing to prove. People love him, and he's a legend, and he's done it all, and there's nothing left to do, in my opinion.
And Dana, last one for me. At the last pay-per-view, there was a teaser video that seemed to show like a new championship belt that was dated 12/29. You know, tonight, those belts look the same to me. What was that about? What happened?
Oh, the shit show that went on this week. You know what I mean? We felt it wasn't the right time to do it. We were going to do it in Vegas and do it in Vegas, but we're going to do it in Brooklyn. Then we're going to officially release the new belt. So you have the classic, you know, belts that that Meyerowitz used to give out and we gave out for the first couple of fights. Then during, we'll call it the Fertitta era, we had those belts, and then now we have a new belt for the new era starting on ESPN and all the other things that we're working on right now. I'm telling you guys, and this is exciting not just for me, my staff, the fighters, and everybody else. The stuff that we are working on right now that's going to happen in the next couple of years with ESPN, things that we're doing in-house, and all these changes that we're making. This is a game changer for the sport. It's going to be big for everybody involved.
What is next for Alexander Gustafsson, do you think? Where does he go from here?
I don't know. You know, this is one of those situations where he needs to go home, take some time off, spend some time with his family, and then figure out what he wants next.
Is it possible to get a fourth title shot in the future, or?
Well, it depends on what he does from here on out. You know, he's got a couple fights to win before he even starts talking about being back in the picture for a title shot.
What do you make of the fight him against Jones?
Yeah, listen, they both had a lot of time off, and they were both coming in rusty. And I saw that, you know, when you look at the fight early, Gustafsson looked good. And he was getting to Jones, and then he got kicked in the shin. And you could tell that he got hurt with that leg kick that John hit him with. And then I'm sure he went, I don't know this for fact, but I'm sure he went back to the corner. And they said, his legs are hurt, go out there and shoot on him and take him down and try to finish the fight. I'm assuming that's what happened. I don't know, but it makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana, I wanted to ask you about Jones and how he approached the fight. It seemed like in the first two rounds, I tweeted, I said he looks maybe more like Mayweather than the old John Jones, you know, staying on the outside and kicking and just scoring points. And then in the third round, it seemed like it became the John Jones that we had known for so many years. Did you see that, and why do you think, was it just the rust that would require him to take a couple rounds before he got into that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. You guys got to ask him that when he comes out here. But yeah, I agree. I think he had a slow start. And, I don't know if he was just taking his time and pacing himself. He's got to go 5 rounds with Gustafsson, who's tough and you know, can definitely go 5 rounds himself. Tried to bust him up the best he could, and then went in for the kill when he hurt his leg and shot on him.
And do you feel like there's any chance that he, you know, we're starting to, not that he's declining, but we're seeing, you know, as a slow, you know, he's not the same guy that he was when he was 27 or whatever. Is there any chance that we're seeing that now? That's what this is?
That's always possible. I don't think we saw it here tonight in this fight. Because, you know, not a bad game plan in the way that this thing played out for him now that it's over and he won. But we have to see from here on out. You know, the big question about John Jones is this. He made it to this fight. This fight needed to happen. He did not test positive for a PED. You know, we've been through all that shit last week. We know. Now what needs to happen is John Jones needs to pass his drug test that the California State Athletic Commission is taking. And honestly, off the top of my head right here, I don't know if they're testing for recreational drugs or what the deal is. But John Jones needs to stay on the straight and narrow, stay out of trouble, stay in the gym. I would love to keep him busy this year with all the great things that we have going on right now. And we'll find out where John Jones is as far as timing, age, you know, all these other things.
One other question about the heavyweights or the light heavyweights. Is Brock completely out of the picture now? Is that no longer an option?
No, he's not. He's not out of the picture.
There still is a chance that you could sign him?
Absolutely.
Okay. What has been the holdup? Because
I think he's already under contract with me.
Well, I mean, it's seeming like there's been, you know, it's looked.
Yeah. So we were talking about it, and then he ended up signing a new deal with WWE. What I think happens is, he's in a very unique position because he can play this thing between UFC and WWE, and they get right down to the wire. And I think Vince throws so much money at him that he says, all right, I'll do it again. Because this is here no matter what. When he's ready, he can come in here and fight, and he's going to make a shitload of money here too. So it makes sense. I'm assuming that's what's going on.
Who would you like better for Brock if he fights?
One of the things that you guys know about me is I don't wait for anybody. I'm not fucking waiting around for anybody. So I'm rolling with the business. Guy doesn't want to fight this year? It's all good. It doesn't matter who you are, how big you are, what your deal is. You don't want to fight? Do your thing. When you're ready to fight, you come back and talk to me, and we'll figure something out.
Who would be better, him or DC? Or Jones or DC against
They're
Brock?
both good. Those are both good fights. I think Jones, DC, and Stipe are all three good fights for Cormier, if Cormier wants to do 3 more fights.
And if I could ask you a couple about Amanda, do you feel like, beating Valentina, beating Ronda, beating Miesha Tate, and now beating Chris,
she's the best ever?
She's the best ever?
How can you deny it? You can't deny that she's the best ever. That's what this fight was for. This fight was to find out. But if you look at her resume and who she's beat, she's the best ever. You can't. Nobody can dispute that. You can try and you can say some stupid shit, but she's the best ever.
And lastly about her, can you quantify like her punching power? Because I don't know that we've ever seen a woman fighter that punched the way she punches.
I agree. And the other thing was, one of her big things going into this fight, which Cyborg talked about a lot, she's like, I need 9 months. I need to put weight on. She's like, I'm going to go fight this chick. This chick's going to come in at 165 pounds. I need to put more weight on or whatever. I don't necessarily always believe in that. When you put more weight on, it slows you down. You're not used to carrying that kind of weight for 5 rounds. The list goes on and on of reasons that I don't think that's absolutely necessary. But she looked damn good tonight. She looked strong. Not only was she dropping bombs, she was taking big shots too and walking right through them like it was nothing. So maybe there is something to it. That's a big thing for GSP too. Remember? GSP always said, I'm not going up to 85 unless I have the time to put the weight on the right way and all that stuff. I always haven't been a believer in it, but seems to work. And what the hell do I know?
Dana over here.
Yep. Hey.
Were you stunned in the fashion of which Cyborg lost tonight?
Yeah. I mean, listen, some of the guys that I talked to this week, you guys, I said I picked this to be the fight of the night. I thought it was going to be the fight of the night. And it obviously went the way that I thought it would go, but I thought it would be that way, but much longer. I thought those two were going to, because those two didn't waste any time. They went out and started blasting from the minute the bell rang. And that's what I expected. And I expected that to go on for a while until somebody started to get tired or somebody got clipped. It's like the Mendez-Volkanovski fight was exactly the way I thought it would be, except it didn't start that fast. I thought it would start right away. It took a minute, but I expected that fight to go that way, and one of them was going to get.
And when you're sitting there watching this, you can kind of feel the wave in the arena of everyone getting fired up.
Yeah.
You're thinking like, holy shit, she's going to end it right here, like everybody else was thinking.
Yeah. It was, I mean, the roof came off that place when that fight ended. It was, it was as exciting a fight as you'll ever see. And what makes it even bigger are the stakes. You have 2 of the baddest women fighting to see who the baddest is, both world champions in 2 different weight classes, and they come out and start bombing like that. It's just, there's nothing more fun. You couldn't ask for anything better, and that type of a fight with what was at stake.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Daniel, so if I can just get you to clarify, Alexander Gustafsson could potentially get a 4th chance depending on his next couple of fights.
Well, we have to see what happens. First of all, sitting here right now, I don't know what Gustafsson wants to do. I don't even know what the guy wants to do.
Have you spoken to him?
No. In the octagon, I saw him and asked him if he was okay, but that's it. I don't know what he wants to do. I'm sure he wants to go home, be with his family, and relax for a while, and then he can figure out what's next. When we do figure out what's next, he's got to get out there. I don't know how many times he's going to fight this year, who he's going to fight, if he's going to win, how he's going to win, any of those things. There's so many factors that go into where he ends up.
And you've mentioned previously that you're hoping to see Conor return sometime this year. Do you have any idea against who? There's been talk about Poirier.